Hey, what's going on, VC? It's Antoine, and I'm back. And this is just gonna be like my memory of an album that I used to have as a kid. And I'm just gonna just briefly talk about my very first album that I brought as a kid. And I showed this in one of my video collections. And as you can hear in the background, it's actually playing. And this was my very, very first record that I ever brought. And that was Heavy D and the Boys, Big Time. Yes. Now, Heavy D passed away just a couple of years ago. He passed away, or a few years ago he passed away. But to me, this is his second album. And I remember, hearing the song that's playing now, We Got Our Own Thing. And I actually fell in love with this song. And I was, a fan of Heavy D back then from his first CD. But I became a bigger fan once I heard this whole album. Now, I remember, me and my best friend when we was, younger, me and Sean, we basically, we did the same thing, We had the video games, We had the music. His mother was she was big into music also. And we lived in the same, building. I lived on the first floor. He lived up on the third floor. And so one day he was like, I want to go to the record store. So I'm like, the record store? He was like, yeah. He was like, my mom took me. He was like, and it's downtown. So we live in Chicago. So he was like, would you like to go? Because he was like, I want to pick up a record or see what else they got. So I'm like, okay, cool. I had a little, some little cash on me at the time as a kid. Because I had older siblings, so, So, we took a walk, and I say that walk maybe took us, 30 minutes, maybe. It made it seem longer because, we was younger, But, we had fun on this journey. And when we got to the record store, I didn't know what I wanted. I did not know what I wanted. I was like, I'll just, go and look around with them. If I find something, I'll see if I have enough money to purchase anything. And as soon as we walked in, like almost right behind the counter was like, I guess they new releases or whatever that's new on vinyl. And this was sitting up there. And I believe it was going for $6.99 or $7.99. It was one of the two back then. And so I went up to it and I picked it up off the rack. I was looking at it. I'm like, man, this is the new Heavy D. We Got Our Own Thing. And I was checking it out, reading it, and I had enough to actually get it. So I told my friend Sean, I was like, I'm getting this, man. I'm getting this. He was like, okay. He was looking around, and I think he picked up something that day. I'm not sure. So I paid for this, went up to the counter, and the guy scanned it and, told me how much it was, and I gave him the money. He put it in the bag, and we walked out, and we excited. I know I'm excited because this is my very first vinyl purchase ever. Like, any vinyl I had was like from, my older brothers, because, if I be like, hey, can I borrow this? Or, let me keep this, like when I visit their house, they'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Just don't, mess it up, don't scratch it up or nothing like that. So, to actually, have my very own first vinyl that I can literally say is mine, man, I was ecstatic. So we took the walk home, we laughing, we talking and stuff like that, and I think we hit the corner store, you know what I'm saying? We got us some chips and candy and stuff like that. And we came back to my house, and in my bedroom, I basically had everything. I had like a large, big bedroom for, I guess you could say for a kid my age. I had like a small like love couch in my room, and then right on the side of that I had my TV, and I had my video game system hooked up, and then over by my bed, like at the foot of my bed, I had like this long this long dresser like table. It wasn't a dresser, it was more like almost kind of like an office table or something like that, because I remember it had a middle drawer. That was the only drawer it had, was a middle drawer that you can, you know, put your stuff in or whatever. And I had that in my room, and I had a chair that I used to sit in, and it was just a folding chair, and my record player was sitting on top of that. I didn't have nothing fancy back in the day. It was just I just had a record player that basically everything was connected to it. Like it had an AM and FM, it had a cassette deck, and the turntable was on top. So I had my speakers. I had some very like, you know, kind of like short speakers, probably about that tall, almost a little bigger than bookshelf speakers, a little taller. And we came back to my house, and you know what I'm saying, and we put it on, we listened to it, we jamming, you know what I'm saying. We listened to songs we never heard of, like, oh man, I'm liking this song. And I remember we listened to the whole album. We actually went back to be like, you know what, this is my favorite song. Then come this song. And I mean, it was just a great experience, you know what I'm saying, to like have this, you know what I'm saying, to just to say, you know, like, Mom, Dad, look what I brought, you know, and they like, what is that? I'm like, man, this is Heavy D. Like, at the time, my parents was more like, you know what, whatever y'all kids listen to, we don't listen to now. You know what I'm saying? So it was like more, you know. And my mom was more of, if it's rap, what is they saying? You know what I'm saying? No cussing in them. Like, nah, Mom, he don't curse. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he ain't nothing like, you know, some of the other rappers that was coming out, like NWA and all that, you know. But yeah, this right here brought back a lot of memories when I seen it in the record store. I'm like, man, this was my very first vinyl I ever brought, and I had to get this. And you know what I'm saying, when I put this on and I listen to it and just let the record play, man, it just bring back so much memories as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You know, like my friends, they coming over and we chilling in the bedroom, we blasting the music, you know what I'm saying? We playing video games, like we playing video games and playing records at the same time, you know what I'm saying? We just having a blast, you know what I'm saying? And from that day, man, me and Sean, like, we'll go up to the record store. Yeah, back then they did have like cheap records. We used to see for like $2, 99 cents, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, we really had to like pick through of like what we remember and, you know what I'm saying, and what we like. And yeah, this was, I mean, Heavy D to me, back then, like, he just had a flow about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this here is a classic album, you know, to me, out of all of Heavy D's albums. I could consider his first one a classic also, because it had some good hits on there too. But just the way Heavy D flowed, you know what I'm saying? This album here, you know, he used a lot of like samples from like older music, you know what I'm saying? But put that hip hop flavor to it from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? It was just amazing, you know what I'm saying, just to put this on and just listen to it, you know what I'm saying. And some of the songs that's on this album to this day can still sound good to this day, you know what I'm saying. Throw it on at a party, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this right here was, you know what I'm saying, a classic album. Heavy D and the Boys. You can see him on the back. You know what I'm saying? He got the girls. And like the songs on here, like Girls They Love Me, More Bounce to the Ounce, Let It Flow, We Got Our Own Thing, Somebody for Me, man, In the Mood for Love, A Better Land, man. But you can actually just play this album from front to back to front without skipping a song. And that's what I like about this album. Just a classic album, nice flow from Heavy. You know what I'm saying? You got his guys up here. I think this is DJ Eddie F. I think this is Trouble T. Roy, and I forget this guy name here. And you all know that's Heavy D. But yeah, man, this was just, you know, memories of, you know what I'm saying, of a classic album. My very first vinyl ever buying for myself. This is a cool album. I mean, if you guys ever run into this album, you know what I'm saying, CD, pick it up. Won't go wrong with it. But yeah, that was like my vinyl memory lane, you know, of Heavy D and the Boys. And I will see you guys later. VC, keep spinning. Peace.